Should you keep waiting for that person, or is it time to move on? In this video, we're going to talk about 3 signs that God is actually telling you to keep waiting for that person. And this is a big topic that leads to many other questions that I just can't answer in this video, which is one of the reasons I created AGW University. That's where I offer my more in-depth training in a course format, where I offer a lot of biblical courses about very specific topics that can help you meet, date, and marry the person God may have for you. If you're interested and you want all the bonuses and scholarship, make sure you enroll before February 17th. Number 1, God may be telling you to wait for that person if waiting is the only way you will know if you and that person will be together. Waiting or not waiting? That's a difficult question to answer because there are complicated variables that need to be considered. It's way too simplistic to say, well, if you want to be with someone, just keep waiting. Because there are those of you who are watching who should keep waiting. And then there are others of you who are watching who have waited long enough. So how will you know? How can you decide? One helpful tip is to ask, is there anything else I can do besides waiting? In other words, you should keep waiting if waiting is the only thing left that you can do. I usually recommend that you start with being proactive, because when you're proactive, you give yourself a lot of opportunities to gain information that may never come to you if you just wait, or that will come to you a lot faster than just waiting. When you try to positively interact with someone, they will either positively respond or negatively respond. And obviously, that gives you a lot of information on their feelings towards you. In some instances, though, after you've done something proactive, there needs to be a time of waiting to see how that person responds, or there are just variations of why it's not clear still. The possibilities could be endless. So if you find yourself in one of those situations where you've tried something, but it's still unclear, it's not a clear no, it's not a clear yes, well, the best thing you can do is wait to see how things will progress in time. Now, with all that said, I highly recommend and caution you against waiting for really long periods of time, meaning many, many months or years. Because usually a lack of progression, a lack of answers, a lack of interest over a long period of time actually is an answer. It actually is an action. Their lack of action is an action, so to speak. So you really just need to be honest with yourself and say, has enough time passed for something to occur that would need to occur? Well, then it's time to move on if that has passed. But if you can just keep waiting and there's a possibility that more information will come, if you're patient, be patient. If your waiting is not resulting in being strengthened, then you're not waiting on the Lord, you're just waiting. Number 2, God probably is telling you to keep waiting for this person if there's a specific issue that needs to be overcome before you two can be in a relationship. Vagueness and generalities are your enemy when it comes to deciding if you should wait. In other words, if you really should wait for someone, typically there is a clear, specific reason for that you should be able to articulate in a couple sentences. For example, I believe God is leading me to wait for this person because we both just became Christians. And we agree that we need some time to develop in the Lord first before we're ready to date. Or, I believe I should wait for this person because we were hitting it off, but then this person got sent away on a 6-month work assignment overseas. When this person gets back, I would like to see how things progress between us. These are measurable, these are specific, they make sense. What you want to avoid are the vague explanations like, I just can't explain it. I know this person said they're not interested in me, but I just feel like they're really the one still. Or I don't know, I saw this person across the room. I never saw them again. But I just feel like God told me they're the one and I'm just going to keep waiting and not do anything else. These are not great explanations because they're way too vague and there's not a tangible explanation that would make sense. It's not reasonable. There's a difference between waiting on God and waiting on life. You definitely want to be waiting on God when that's what he's leading you to do, but don't just wait randomly for things that aren't of God. Micah 7:7, but as for me, I will look to the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. And number 3, God is probably telling you to wait for someone if you two really are headed towards a relationship together, but you just need more time to connect. In my opinion, the best way to know if you should wait for someone is if there is already progression. You just need to give it more time for it to reach the point of decision. Christians often seek an abundance of confirmation from God when it comes to relationships. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that takes time. So if you and someone are connecting, but you just haven't yet connected to the point where you can make the relationship official, where you feel comfortable fully committing to each other, well, keep waiting. Lamentations 3:25. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. And don't forget, there's only a few more days to enroll in my relationship training courses. If you're someone who doesn't have the time or motivation right now to really invest in your personal development in the area of relationships, sometimes it's just not the right season to commit that much time, then I would recommend you don't enroll. But if you're someone who has the time, you have the energy, you have the motivation, you just need the path, you need the material to invest in yourself so that you're prepared to glorify the Lord in a relationship and to know what action steps you need to take to get into that relationship, then AGW University would be a great fit for you. So for the scholarship information, the bonuses, all the course content layout, click the link in the description of this video. Again, the deadline to enroll is February 17th. God bless.